Hi natto fans, this is Natto Dad. Continuing with the non-soybean natto series, I made natto out of chickpeas, which are also known as garbanzo beans. And they're quite compatible to make natto with, so let's get to it. I start by weighing the chickpeas, and on this run I weighed out 200 grams. After weighing, rinse the beans 3 times until the water runs clear. After 20 hours of soaking, the chickpeas have puffed up really nicely and they have a lighter color and they're almost translucent. Drain the beans with a strainer to cut the water and you can leave it there. While that's going, start to boil some water, and I forgot to put the ramekin and the base before boiling the water, so this is a little bit dangerous, so please do it ahead of time and then put the strainer on top. Close the lid of the pressure cooker and you can start the timer for 40 minutes. Okay, so that was 40 minutes. You can shut off the heat and you can let it rest for about 20 minutes until it depressurizes. So while that's cooling, I started to boil some water to sanitize the fermenting vessels. And thank you very much for all the comments. I will be moving away from using chemicals for sanitation and will be using boiling water from now on. So the beans had about 20 minutes to cool, and this is how it looks out of the pressure cooker. And at the same time, I also drained the fermenting vessels that have been sitting with boiling water. And for this one, I actually poured a little bit of the liquid coming out of the pressure cooker to give the beans a little bit more moisture. I put 1 cube of frozen natto as the starter. I then cover it with the warm chickpeas to thaw it out a little bit. I then add 3 spoonfuls of the liquid coming out of the pressure cooker to give it extra moisture. It was still a little bit frozen when I started mixing it, so I had to crush it a little bit and then mix it thoroughly, so all the beans will have the natto starter on them. As always, I use the double clink method. So the first wrap, which will get perforated, it will sit right on top of the beans to prevent any drying of the surface. After the first cling wrap is perforated and placed on top of the beans, the second one will get perforated as well, and this creates an air pocket that prevents further drying of the beans. As always, I use the ceramic heat emitter attached to a thermostat which controls the temperature. And on the bottom you can see the ceramic heat emitter. In the middle, a bowl with water for moisture, and on the top goes the fermenting vessel. Everything is set to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and after 18 hours, the beans are done. The chickpea natto turned out really well with strong threads, and I attribute it to the liquid that I poured from the pressure cooker, and then in addition to the 3 tablespoons of water that came out of the pressure cooker as well to add moisture into the fermentation. So this is straight out of the fermentation, and you can see already that the beans look really clumpy and have strong threads, so this looks beautiful. Even after mixing, you can see that the chickpeas clump due to the strong threads. Next, I do the liquid seasoning test. And on this test, when I have weak threads, the natto will fall apart. And when the threads are strong, you can see that the natto will stay together even after adding liquid seasoning. After fermentation, the natto can be stored in the fridge for up to 2 weeks, and then you can portion out and store in the freezer. On the second trial, I steam without pressure, and this is due to some comments that asked me if you can make natto without a pressure cooker, so just by steaming, and these are the results. The chickpea natto didn't have strong threads when it was just steamed without pressure, and this is attributed to probably undercooking the beans. I read somewhere that pressure cooking is about 4 times quicker than no pressure. So you can see that if it takes about 40 minutes on the pressure cooker, it'll take over 2.5 hours without pressure. The natto that was made without pressure turned out to be a little bit crunchy even after an hour, so I would recommend cooking for at least 2.5 hours if you don't have a pressure cooker. So there you go guys, that was chickpea natto, pressure steamed for 40 minutes. It had excellent flavor, very good threads, and it is a great alternative to soybean natto, so give it a try. And they're a little bit on the big side, so I would chop them up a little bit and have over rice, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.